All right, Monday night, we've got one more playoff game, our first Monday night playoff game ever, to my knowledge. We got an NFC West battle. The Arizona Cardinals head to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. The Rams are 3.5 point favorites. Total is at 49.5. I'm mad. I waited all season to fade both of these teams in the playoffs. We can't fade them both. They're playing each other. Who do you like here, Cardinals or Rams?
Oh, this is like very frustrating. Like you took the words out of my mouth. It's so funny because I think if the Cowboys and 49ers had been playing either one of these teams, the Cowboys and the 49ers would be advancing. And those are two teams that I think everybody were looking to buy. And that's why you saw some sharp money on the Cowboys, a little sharp money on the 49ers as well. And in this matchup, you have two teams that nobody likes. Matthew Stafford has completely struggled against winning teams throughout his career. He's just 31, 51, and 2. That's 38% against the spread. He's 26, 58, 31% straight up per Action Labs database. And that's another spot that he finds himself again against Kyler Murray and his Arizona Cardinals team. Both of these teams have split games this year, but it's like you look at Stafford. I don't know how you lay points with this guy at this point. He continues to struggle with turnovers. He has 8 interceptions and 1 fumble over the last 4 games of the season. And things aren't going to get any easier against this Cardinals defense, who are just, they're 6th in DVO. They're 6th in Football Outsiders DVOA, 5th against the pass. So it's tough to back Stafford here. Obviously, the Cardinals are struggling on their own. What do you think about the Cardinals? Do you feel like their late season woes were a bit of a fluke? How do you balance this Cardinals team and this Rams team, both as teams that you're looking to sell? Like, how do you balance that? Like what are you weighing the most at this point?
Yeah, it's really hard because, yeah, like you said, if the matchups were switched and we had one of these teams playing the Niners and one playing the Cowboys, I would have smashed the Niners and the Cowboys. I don't care who's which one. I'd have felt great about both of them there. I'm already ready to back up the Brinks on the Bucks next week. Like, I don't really care. Whoever this is, like, here's what I want from this game. I want one team from Monday night to blow out the other team. I don't care who it is. I just want one team to look really good so that the line goes down and I can get my Bucks money in for the following week. That's really all I want from this game. Like, early in the season, the passing offenses, the Cardinals were number 2 in DVOA. The Rams are number 3, weeks 1 through 8. The last 8 weeks, the Cardinals are number 17 in passing attack. The Rams are number 16. So they completely fell off. And that's what McVay and Kingsbury offenses have done. McVay made the Super Bowl before, but his offenses continue to be great early, fall apart a little bit later, certainly fall off at least back to average. The Rams only went 2-5 against playoff teams. I don't really feel like we trust a lot there. Cliff Kingsbury, we've talked about him over and over again about all the late collapses on him. We've seen how their offense is created a little bit, and Kyler Murray not looking healthy. DeAndre Hopkins, we know is not back yet. We know he's going to be back for a bit at least. The Rams offense, that was this juggernaut early on, they're only 14th in a weighted DVOA. So they're again, they've fallen back. That weighted DVOA, the reason we like that is because it shows what do you look like now? What do you look like in these past weeks? And what they look like is they can't run the ball. They're missing Robert Woods. Odell Beckham hasn't really made a big difference. They look like Cooper Kupp. And the Cardinals are top 3 in DVOA against wide receiver 1. I'm not saying they're going to erase Cooper Kupp. You don't erase Cooper Kupp at this point. He's too good. But if your offense is down to, hey, Cooper Kupp, go do something, like, we've really lost the step here if that's the offense. Like, Jared Goff could have run that offense. And so Stafford, you had all the stats. I had all those too. Just doesn't show up against these good teams. And I don't trust either team, but given that we're above a key number here and laying 3.5 points on Stafford makes me feel like, okay, if I've got to play here, I'd rather nibble at the Cardinals because I'm at least getting 3.5 points. This could be, you could tell me any outcome, any script for this game, and it would make sense to me because nothing will make sense. But if I'm getting 3.5 points for Matt Stafford, the way that he's looked and the way they've looked, and knowing that the Cardinals are 6-0 as underdogs this year, all on the road, 6-0 against the spread and straight up, they've won every one of those games. I feel like I'm leaning the Cardinals here, but I'm definitely not putting too much of my Bucks, Chiefs, and Niners winnings on this one.
I actually believe they're 8. I think they're 8-1 straight up and against the spread. I actually took some Cardinals plus 4.5. This line's down to 3.5. It's priced right where it should be, but I agree with you. I think if you're going to take a side, you got to take the Cardinals in this matchup. One of the things people will mention for the Rams is that they're first in ESPN's pass rush win rate. So they can get pressure on the quarterback. But if there's any quarterback in NFL who can neutralize a pass rush, it's Kyler Murray. He can escape the pocket. I almost compare him to like Tom and Jerry. It's like you're just watching this little mouse just escape and just go through everything. It's almost like trying to swat a fly. And as good as that pass rush is, we saw these two teams play, and Kyler Murray was just able to run all over the field. Look, you mentioned the loss of DeAndre Hopkins. It's been catastrophic for this offense. And this offense was second in EPA per play and third in success rate with DeAndre Hopkins in the lineup. And they've dropped to 16th in EPA per play and 14th in success rate without him. So while he won't play, it's tough. I think you got to be looking at James Conner to see what he's going to do in this matchup. Obviously, they're really going to need him. He left last week's game with a rib injury. That's going to be huge for this Cardinals team because it's just, look, without Hopkins, he's one of the best wide receivers in the game. Obviously, you want to go to Rondale Moore and James Conner. Those are going to be the guys. Maybe you want to look for some props on them. But if you got to take a side on this one, I think you got to go with the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, favorites have been dominating all wild card weekend. The only underdog that actually covered and won was the San Francisco 49ers. As we know in the NFL, typically the team who wins, they cover the spread. So I think when it comes to this one, maybe you want to sprinkle something on the Arizona Cardinals if you think that they're going to cover, because more often than not, the team who wins in the NFL players is going to cover.
A couple stats to support you here out of Action Labs. Cliff Kingsbury as an underdog, 18-7-2 against the spread lifetime, 72% cover rate. That's a pretty strong showing, and they're covering by 6.3 points a game. Remember, the spread's 3.5 here, so you cover by 6, you won the game. So that's good news. Here's another one for you. This is a small sample, but since 2003, when you've got division teams squaring off in the wild card round, the home favorite is only 3-9-1 against the spread. So 25% cover. Home favorite has lost 5 of the last 6 outright and failed to cover all 6 of those games. So again, that's 3.5 points to me. It's just, it's too many points. That's it. It's too many points. I'm playing the number here. I don't trust either quarterback a ton right now. I certainly don't trust either coach. I maybe trust the Rams defense a little bit. If it was a coin flip pick'em game, I think I'd take the Rams then. But if you're giving me the 3.5, you're giving me the key number, and we know all, it's a division game. These teams know each other well. There's a lot that can go either way. I just have to take the points. So I feel decent about the Cardinals plus 3.5. And I think you're right. If you play in the 3.5, like usual, it's usually a pretty good idea to sprinkle a little bit on the money line as well. But I think either one of these teams is about to get their last win of the season, whoever it is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that because, look, we mentioned it earlier. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have some issues on the offensive line, and I think both of these teams can rush the passer. So I don't want to say that yet. I still want to think about things, and we don't know. I think one of these teams is going to emerge, obviously, and sometimes all it takes is that one win to put you back on the right path. So we'll see what happens.
You're right. Survive and advance. You're 4 wins away from being Super Bowl champions right now. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to watch it. It should be a good game. It should be a fun one. I'm going to get a little Peyton and Eli back in my life. It's our one last chance for the season to hear from those guys on ESPN. So I'm ready. It's our first Monday Night Playoff game. How can you not like it?